Welcome to Age Pension, Super and Retirement. I am your host, Yvonne, and as always, this podcast is information only and never personal advice. Today, we have a bonus episode where we will be looking at the change of deeming rates and the increase in the age pension. And to unpack this, I'd like to welcome back Rebecca.
Thanks, Yvonne. It's a beautiful spring day and I'm looking forward to getting into this stuff.
Me too. So let's get cracking. First of all, what are the new deeming rates as of the 20th of September 2025?
Yes, so in September, each year, 20th of September, the age pension rates are indexed, updated based on indexation, so the CPI rates that have changed. Now, the deeming rates have been changed for the first time in a few years, and the government has changed them at the same time as the age pension rates are changing. So the deeming rates were 0.25% for the lower threshold and 2.25% per annum for all financial assets over that threshold. Now, they are going up 0.5% each to come closer to the RBA cash rates. So the new rates are 0.75% for your financial assets under the lower threshold and 2.75% for all your financial assets over the deeming threshold. So the deeming threshold for singles is $64,200. So all your financial assets, so the first $64,200 of your financial assets are deemed to earn 0.75%. And anything over that amount is deemed to earn 2.75%. And for couples, the threshold is $106,200. Your first $106,000 of financial assets is deemed at that 0.75%. Everything over that is 2.75. So it's an increase of 0.5% on both of those rates. Some people ask, well, why, when the RBA is bringing the rate down over the last several months, why are the deeming rates for Centrelink going up? And it's not that they're going up because the other ones are coming down or in spite of, but the deeming rates have been locked in at a very low rate for such a long time. It's time to change them, and they have to go up to come closer to what the actual cash rate is.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Now, how much will the age pension increase by in September of 2025?
Yeah, so this time it's a bigger increase than we saw in March. And it's not the government being generous, it's just a function of what CPI has been. And the other index that they use for age pension is the PBLCI, the Pensioners and Benefits Living Cost Index. So those measures have increased faster in the last 6 months than they did in the 6 months prior to that. So the indexation is a higher percentage this time. So we're seeing a decent step up in the age pension rates. So the single rates are increasing by $29.70 each fortnight. The new maximum rate is going to be $1,178.70. For couples, the maximum rate of age pension is increasing by $22.40 each. So the new rate will be $888.50 each. So if both people are on age pension, you get $22.40 each in the increase, and the combined increase is double that. Now, that's the maximum rate of pension. That's if your income and assets stay exactly the same as before, then you will see your age pension increase by that much. But if your assets have changed, and particularly since we're talking about deeming rates, if your income has changed, then your age pension may not increase by that full $22 or $29. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but particularly if you are income tested, if your age pension is paid based on the income test and not the asset test, you may not see the full increase this time.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Now, to unpack this a little further, how will these new deeming rates actually affect those on the age pension?
Yeah, so I think the government's been quite clever at this point to adjust the deeming rates at the same time as the pension rates are changing. So for a single person, their income would need to increase by $60 per fortnight to not increase their pension overall. So the pension's going up by virtually $30. So the income would need to go up by $60 or more to negate that increase in pension. So basically, it means that nobody who's still on the same assets as before is going to have a decrease in their pension. So they're increasing the deeming rates, but it's not going to reduce anyone's pension. I've sort of run through a few different examples, and I can't think of one that a person that's actually going to experience a reduction in their pension after the 20th of September, assuming their assets and other sources of income have not changed. So some people who are currently on a full pension, because of their financial asset levels, they may only get a partial rise in pension and will, going forward, just be on a part pension.
Thanks, Rebecca. And I'm curious, for those on a full pension now, how can they know if they'll only be on a part pension from the 20th of September?
Yeah, so doing a bit of maths, you can work that out. From the 20th of September, for homeowners, singles with financial assets under 252,800 will still be on full pension. If you've got financial assets over that amount, over 252,800, the deemed income is going to be over the income-free area, so you're going to not be on full pension anymore. And that's a change in those thresholds. So some people who have been on full pension, if their financial assets have been in that range of 250 to 300,000, they have still been on full pension until now, but because the deemed income from those assets is increasing, it means that their fortnightly deemed income, is over the $218 threshold. So they are not going to be on full pension anymore. And for couples, that's for couples who are homeowners, that the new threshold for financial assets is going to be 436,500. Remembering that the asset-free area is 481,500. So there's some couples, they're fairly under the asset-free area, but if their financial assets are over 436,000, they will no longer be on full pension. So that was really wordy. So singles with financial assets over 252,800 will not be on full pension, and couples with financial assets over 436,500 will not be on full pension.
That's really helpful, Rebecca. Thank you. Now, for those no longer receiving the full age pension due to these changes, is it worth going on a spending spree to regain their full age pension status?
Well, I guess that's an individual thing. You can do that if you want to, but if you're paid based on the income test, for every $10,000 of financial assets over those thresholds that I just spoke about before, the pension's only being reduced $5.30 per fortnight for every 10,000 over the threshold, or $2.15 each for couples. So let's say you see these coming like, oh, I'm not going to be on full pension anymore. I'll go spend some money. If you spent $10,000, it would get you an extra $5.30 per fortnight or $137 per year. So, you're not getting much back in your pension by spending that money. And if you thought about how long would it take to get that money back in increased pension, it's going to take 73 years at $5.30 per fortnight to get that back. So it basically, I think it makes zero sense. It makes no sense to spend the money just to get a higher rate of pension. If you're going to spend that money anyway, you need to replace your car, but you've been putting it off, or you need new carpets in your house, but you've been putting it off. If you're going to spend that money anyway, then yeah, go ahead and spend it. But to spend it just to get more pension, I think is backwards thinking.
That's so interesting, Rebecca. But I have to ask, how about gifting to increase the age pension? Does that ever make any sense?
Well, again, it's the same kind of situation as we just talked about. So if you gifted $10,000, which is your annual gifting free area, it would increase your pension by $5.30 per fortnight. So again, it's going to take a long time to get that money back in increased pension. If you wanted to gift the money anyway, and it's going to bring you joy to do that, you're going to see the benefit of that money in another person's life, then go ahead and do it. But to do it just to get more pension is not the right way to do it, I think.
That's so clear, Rebecca. Thank you. Would it be possible for you to go through a couple of case studies to help explain all this?
Yeah, so we had a query in the group, somebody who was asking on behalf of their father. So this was a 92-year-old man who is single, and he was a homeowner, and he had $300,000 in financial assets, so some super and some term deposits, and he was on full age pension because he had only less than $20,000 in other assets. He had a car and some home contents. And with $300,000 in financial assets, he is going to not be on full pension anymore from the 20th of September. Now, how much pension is he going to lose? Well, his pension is still going to go up from the 20th of September. His pension will go up about $5 a fortnight based on having $300,000 in financial assets. So he's not really losing any money. He is going to get a slightly higher rate of pension from the 20th of September. And to get back to full pension, he would need to spend $48,000, which is like 1/6 of his assets apart from his house. So that's a massive amount of money to spend just to get an extra, it would be $25 a fortnight in pension. So I think in that kind of situation, I think the best way to think of it is, well, I've had a good ride for a few years. I've been able to earn more money off my investments without it reducing my Centrelink payment. And from now on, I'm going to be on a slightly higher rate of pension than before, but I'm not going to be on full pension, but that's okay. I think most people would realise that even though they're not on full pension, they've still got enough money coming in. And if they want to give some money away, they can do that in order to bless the people around them. But to spend $48,000 just to get an extra $25 per fortnight in pension, it just doesn't seem right to do that. So that's, I guess, a little case study. It's quite a lot of money you would have to spend to get back to full pension. I guess some people might feel like they deserve to be on full pension, or it's sort of part of their identity almost to be a full pensioner or to have that highest level of support. But you probably got to start spending more money, just enjoying your money a bit more, and maybe think about, you're obviously not spending your assets down each year, and think about what could you do. Well, maybe you'd like to have a holiday, maybe you'd like to do some home improvements to make your home a nicer place to live, and maybe there's some hobbies you'd like to do that cost money, or maybe there's medical services that you probably need but haven't been willing to spend the money on. Maybe you would want to have some physiotherapy or massage or something, and why not do that since you've got some extra money to spend?
Thank you so much, Rebecca. That's so interesting. Lastly, could these deeming rate changes result in someone being cut off from the low income card or the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card?
Yeah, good question. So for the low income card, probably not, because how the rules work, if you're on the low income card, you're granted the card and it lasts for 12 months, and then after the 12-month period, it's renewed. During that 12-month period, if your income increases, it actually has to increase by quite a lot to cut you off the card. So for people who are still in that sort of 12-month window, these deeming rates are not enough of a change to bump your income up over that threshold to cut you off the low income card. But if you've come to the 12-month renewal time, yes, at that point, your deemed income may be a bit too high and you could be cut off. So for people who are less than 12 months since the card was granted, you're probably fine. But if you come up to that 12-month renewal time, Centrelink's going to reassess your income sources, including deemed income, and the higher rates may mean that you're over the limit now and no longer eligible for the low income card. With the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, yes, this change will cut a number of people off the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. So the income test for the Seniors Health Card is based on adjusted taxable income from your most recent tax return and also on the deemed income from your super. So you probably need to know a bit more about how the maths all works, but I had a look on some spreadsheets and figured out that so the new deeming rates effectively chop $1 million off the limit for how much super you can have to be eligible for the seniors health card. So for people who have some income from maybe rental properties or a part-time job and also have money in super and have been on the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, if you're sort of close to the limit or within $1 million of the financial assets within the limit, yes, you're going to lose access to that card. And Centrelink has that information on file. So if they know your adjusted taxable income and they know your deemed income from what you told them when you applied, and that will kind of just automatically be calculated in the system. And this will see some people being cut off the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. But remembering that the income limits for this card are quite generous. So this is people with a reasonable amount in annual income who will lose access to the card. And I guess that's a bit disappointing for those people, but it's all part of keeping the welfare system and the concession cards targeted at the people who will most benefit from them.
This has been so helpful, such great information as always, Rebecca. Remember that this is information only and not personal advice. As always, for our international listeners wishing to join our Facebook group, the code word is RED. And for now, goodbye, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me, Yvonne. I'll see you next time.
Bye for now, everyone.